Man, this flip was meant to be like, hi guys, you're welcome back to Hi guys, you are welcome back. For those who are just joining, you're absolutely welcome. I'm Sherry Nifemi Idu and this is Cher Indulgence. So hit the subscribe button if you haven't. Go and watch other videos. Do you understand? Because this video is going to be a bit different from the norm, right? Because we're talking about 2020. I mean, fam, what is this year? I mean, I feel like everyone had that big dream for 2020. Gonna get married, we're gonna travel, we're gonna do crazy things because it's, oh my god, we gathered all our ginger and we said 2020 is the year, we're gonna crush it. And life was like, there's so many things going on aside from the fact that we're literally in the middle of a pandemic. Like, this COVID-19 thing was just like,
You're not doing anything.
and right now the world seems to be in like vex mode. Vex mode is the best way for me to think about it, because everyone's angry, literally everyone's frustrated, everyone's tired. I mean, right now, in the United States and in different other parts, I mean in the UK also, we're talking about how Black Lives Matter. We're speaking out against racism, and also here in my country, Nigeria, we're finally shouting and saying we are tired of the rape culture, the harassment culture that has seemed to be the norm. And now everyone's speaking up, and it just seems like there's a rape case every single day. And it's not even just grown women that are being raped, babies are being raped, people who are wearing hijabs are being raped. And so we're like, what the hell is going on? Aside from that, there have been killings all around in South Kaduna. Like, it's in Congo, there's a new outbreak of Ebola. Somebody should go and press the button to restart this year, because I'm tired. No, for real now though. See, I said no goof enough, but are you not tired? Like, but then another perspective is that, man, this is the year we have a lot of time to like self-reflect, change a lot of things. Ah, boy, this this isolation thing is exposing a lot of bad characters, man. It is showing the lapses in our government, in our healthcare, in every, like, usumi. I'm tired, guy. Anyways, back to the serious issue at hand. I feel like I have a reason to speak up. I have this platform, might not be wide. I don't worry, our family is growing. Wah, wah, it will soon blow. And as much as I created this channel to be my creative space, I feel like an opinionated weird one. I needed, my creative outlet to just be me. But we have to speak up against things like this, because the societal standards are changing, right? Societal norms and cultures are actually evolving. And I created this channel to enlighten and to educate, and for us to have these quality conversations, especially regarding the changing dynamics of our current world. We're a sensitive generation. It was also to entertain you, because life is dark and we're not getting out of it alive, let's be honest. So why not joke about, why not have a laugh once in a while? I wanted to do that. And for us to basically share experiences, because when you see, or you can sense that someone has been through, or you can relate to something, it's such a blissful feeling, and it helps you just to feel like you're not alone in this struggle. I mean, some people are out there eating noodles and okra soup. Whatever they're going through, God will help them through it. But like, imagine finding someone that shares the same weird preferences or has the same weird experiences as you. Bliss, literally. And so because of that, I feel I have to speak up against racist behaviors. And now we might say that, oh, in Nigeria we do not experience racism as such, but tribalism exists to a very large extent. I mean, I almost got married to someone, but then the moment his mom knew that I was from a different tribe, the like she had for me before, it went like, they actively frustrated the relationship until it was no more. When you're talking about rape or harassment, I feel like almost every single female in Nigeria has experienced one of these things or the other. Whether they're catcalling you and then you don't answer, and next thing it turns to insults, or you're just living in fear when someone's walking behind you, maybe at night, even in the day sometimes, where you're groped or you're touched inappropriately, or even just plain straight up rape. And we have a shaming culture for victims, so you're not going to speak out because it's what were you wearing and where were you and what time, and everyone seems to focus on the preventive measures, traditional preventive measures, like don't dress inappropriately, do not encourage them, if you're not interested let them know, don't be out at night, when the one thing we should be looking at is rapists, calling them out. There is a need to further enlighten and educate men more than women, to be honest, when it comes to rape, because I feel like for women, it's already the norm and a natural thing to act in certain ways to ensure that you are safe. Like, no one had to tell me to learn to walk faster when I'm passing by a group of guys. For me, it's like a constant thing. It's niggling. It's like the natural thing for me now, right? And I didn't have to be taught. It's just growing up. You just got to do it. Do you understand? And in the fight for equality and equity in so many things, one thing I think we fail to really, really say is the fact that we need men. Oh my God, yes, we need men, because especially if you're trying to correct the society we live in, you need men to talk to other men, because men listen to men. As much as men listen to women, that's great. But do you realize some men would not sit down to want to deal or engage with you unless it's coming from another man? Do you understand? And these conversations from one guy to another helps them literally. So these are difficult things we have to say. The only reason for rape is a rapist. It's not about what she was wearing. I mean, a woman should be able to pass naked in front of you and you will not do shit. In your mind, you fine, look, what's prickle stand. Sorry for my, Oh, you even judge her in your mind. Oh, what a hoe, what a slut, whatever. That's your business. But doesn't give you the right to go put hands on her. Doesn't mean she's asking for it. Literally, mind your business. When you have that mentality, like you are not entitled to another person, tell me, would this occur? Let's be honest. And for so long, we've put up that thing that, oh, men do not have that self-control. But when it comes to certain things, you do, right? It's like in domestic violence, where it's like, oh, they don't have, so you got him angry, so why'd you... But when soldiers get him angry, he doesn't go hitting them, right? Okay. Or, oh, you might find another man's wife attractive, but when the guy is there and he's with his wife, the wife you find attractive, why don't you just go put hands on her and touch her? Because no self-control, I can't help it. Do you see how stupid that sounds? And so it doesn't, right now, the focus is not on, oh, dress decently, follow these traditional preventive measures. It's not about that. Because you can live your whole life doing that, and a person will still rape you or assault you or harass you. It happens on a daily. So we need to eliminate the fear of this. I mean, an artisan coming to work in a house with a female alone should not be a scenario that is threatening. If you provide any justification for rape in any way, then you are low-key an apologist. Like, these are things that should not be happening. How, at this point in time, should we be campaigning for someone to understand consent? So, yeah. And then, speaking about racism, I'm going to just share my own experience. So, I grew up as a Diplo brat, right? And that meant, like, my dad was a diplomat, so we got the privilege of growing up in different countries. And the ones I can really, really remember was in Poland. Wow. Eastern Europe. Anyone that's like lived there can probably testify to how their own is a different man. Sure, I'll say my own experience. So I've had my skin touched by white kids before to see if it would like come off on them. I've had some people point at me and be like czarny, czarny, which is black in Polish. There have been times where my mom and I would sit on the bus and there would be this shift, this huge space that came after, or they moved to the other side, and they wouldn't say it to your face sometimes, but you'd get the stare, you'd get the look, and it's low-key the same wherever you go, right? And this was like year 2000. You'd have the monkey, and it was, I mean, growing up with those things just made you wary and made you feel like, oh, okay, maybe something was wrong with you or your skin color. It didn't make you feel like a strong black queen. Yes. Yeah, it made you feel like, okay, you actually look closer to the monkeys, and maybe that's what we really were compared to actual human beings. Don't get me, I mean, this is my thinking as a kid, right? But then you might say, oh, 2000's like really far away, but then I'll bring it down to 2017 in Bournemouth, right? And I was on my way to work. I didn't have coins because it's not like London where there's the Oyster card and we still use like actual coins. And so I went to the ATM. I withdrew £10. And this is like before it was the polymer kind. And the bus driver, I gave it to him and I'm like, oh, okay, I want a day rider. Oh, I'm sorry, I do not have coins. See me still apologizing that, okay, oh, sorry, I don't have change. Oh, thinking it's like Lagos conductor that I want to shout my head down. And what would this man do? So he takes my tenner and he puts it down. He takes the marker for counterfeit to check for fakes basically, and he swipes the first time, he turns it around and he does it again. Then he puts it against his window in the light the first time and he flips it again, and then he looks at it and not like this was, and I was just there like he passed £10. And where I work, I mean, there are a lot of cash transactions, and what we were always told to check for at every point in time were the £20 notes, because those were the ones that were like, that had a lot of fakes like in circulation. So, you'd get like a counterfeit like marker checker and you just like over the £20, right? Never for the £10, but for the 20s, because everyone knew 20s were like more common to have fakes, not £10. And this guy checks my £10 note 6 times. And so you might think, oh no, the guy's just being careful, to be honest. It's just, he's doing his job. But then the white woman behind me comes and she gives him a £20 note and he doesn't check it. And he just gives her her change and smiles and goes, Tala. He paid me all. Like the one time I tried to discuss this with my white friends, they couldn't really, and they're like, why are you saying all these things? Everyone gets discriminated at, and they're Colombian, they're like, oh, people call us Pablo Escobar and that's discrimination. I'm like, nah fam, this kind of just gets you automatically a different reaction than other people. Like, how do you not see it? And I feel like some of us still have this mentality now even bringing it down to tribe, and it's like, no, I love all people, this doesn't exist. Like, fam, it does. And when you face this on a daily basis, guy, what do you think is going to make you? We've all had our experiences, and if you haven't, all you can do sometimes for someone who has had either a rape experience or harassment or racism or tribalism or something terrible or trauma is to listen, to be honest. It's their experience. It's not about you. Always try to remember it's not about you. Just guy, listen. For me to want to open up to tell you something and be like, this was what happened to me, this was traumatic for me. Listen, it means I have a level of trust. Be calm. See, listening without interrupting or saying, I think you should, or why didn't you? is hard as fuck. I will not lie to you. Take time and be there for your person, or to just try to understand what's going on. Do not invalidate feelings. And when there's a need for you to use your voice to speak up, speak, or just retweet or help others who are involved in a struggle. I mean, if we're Christians also, we're meant to mourn when others mourn, you know? Rejoice when we're rejoicing. It's a shared struggle. It could be you the next day. It could be your family member. My younger brother is in the States. I fear for his life, to be honest. Ask people how you can be there for them. If it's a hug, if it's just a shoulder to cry on, if it's just a hand to hold, ask how you can be there. Be kind. Everyone is fighting something. And if you have experienced something like this or trauma, as much as they say time heals, speak to someone, or else it will eat you up, it will drive you crazy. You need to find ways to deal. Never stop talking to someone. Have a support system. Don't isolate yourself. It doesn't, like, even though I've had experiences, I've shared with my fiance, I've shared with my bestie, I've shared the ones I could still talk about with someone. Speak up, and if these things are triggering you, know what it is and stay far away. If it's social media you need to take a break from, take a break. Find what works for you. You need to admit that this happened to you and let it end there. Like, it happened. Don't try to deny it. Don't try and be like, oh, you don't want to remember, you don't want to relive. Like, admit that it happened. Like, accept it. It's now part of your story, but it's not what defines your entire story. It happened. Put a pause. Turn the page. It's hard, but I feel like when you start accepting what has happened or the trauma that has occurred is when you can finally start moving on from it. Like, no one can come and shame you with an experience. Nah, shame on them. Bish! Be kind to one another. We're all humans. If you know you don't want something done to you, don't do it to someone else. Don't discriminate based on tribe. Haba. I don't have all these Yoruba people, all these Igbo people, man, God forbid. Nah. To what end? Honestly, love doesn't work that way, and I feel we should all be people who emulate love. We should all be disciples of love, to be honest. And you can't say you don't see color, or all lives matter, or guys are raped too. The focus is on a particular thing that is cancerous right now. It's not when there's a spotlight on this particular thing you want to share and bring, let's use this awareness to create awareness for the other one. Man, do you see some of the things on the internet? I want to fight. You need to have difficult conversations with your family members. Even if you're not out here on social media talking about it, please do your part. Please enlighten someone around you in your workplace, and enlighten them with love and with understanding, and not just as like an attack or something, you know. Help them realize, help them understand your perspective in a peaceful way. Be diplomatic, you know. Conflict resolution. These are things like we should already know that helps in our daily life. So, fam, there's no better way to end this video. There's no way I can think of to really end this video that will really slap like that. But I saw this Instagram post when I was thinking of how, man, 2020 were tired. Asteroid wants to hit Earth again. There's no real Avengers. Captain America does not exist. There's no Thor. Hey God, is it Ifa that wants to rise up from somewhere brandishing chicken? Or see, there was this thing I saw on Instagram, and it was like a what if thing. And so I think that's what I'm going to leave you with, right?
What if 2020 isn't cancelled? What if 2020 is the year we've been waiting for? A year so uncomfortable, so painful, so scary, so raw, that it finally forces us to grow. A year that screams so loud, finally awakening us from our ignorant slumber. A year we finally accept the need for change. declare change, work for change, become the change. A year we finally band together instead of pushing each other further apart. 2020 isn't cancelled, but rather the most important year of them all.
So yeah, this, I'm sure you can tell this is a different video from the rest. But still, please subscribe, like, share, leave a comment on your take on what's going on, how this has been affecting you. If you do need someone to talk to, I mean, you can always send me a message, shoot me an email on cherinifemido@gmail.com. Send me a DM on Instagram or on Twitter. I'd be willing to listen to you. Take care, guys. And let's not forget to be kind.